Okay, so now that we have vented about that we've been wanting to talk about on the podcast for days.
Yes.
We're going to talk about something else that we're very passionate about.
Money.
Both.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're kind of cultured.
I'm Asia.
I'm Carla, and this week we're back with more controversial stuff.
Yes, let's get into it. I'm excited.
So, the first thing, it might be a little late to talk about it, but just bear with us. We need to talk about this. The Halle Little Mermaid controversy situation.
Not controversy, petty mess from the internet.
Yes, agreed.
Yes, so thoughts?
Okay, so first I guess we have to go over what happened.
Yes.
In case you've been living under a rock and don't know. So Disney casted Halle Bailey as the Little Mermaid, and she's not what Ariel looks like in the animated movie, and people are pissed. Some people. A lot of people from my Twitter feed, surprisingly.
I don't know. I mean, I swear, to be honest, I didn't think this was a problem, which is what I was telling Carla. Like, I woke up and like she told me, like, have you seen, like, people are upset? All of my news outlets were making it seem positive. But then again, I wasn't like looking in the comments because I was just like, this is great.
Yeah. So my news outlets were like portraying it as something positive too. Because it is. It's nothing but positive. But then I got on Twitter, and I'm a huge Twitter person. And the people that I follow, like, from my hometown and, like, people just, like, in general, were like, no, how could you do this to us? This is not the image that we had of Ariel. What's her name? Ariel. And I was like, oh my God, these people need a life. And their reasoning is like, I don't want to.
Are their reason? Tell me.
The reason is just like, how could you do this to such an iconic Disney story? Like, this is like going against everything she is, because she's a redhead and this girl's not a redhead, and she's super white and this girl's not white, and the story was based in Denmark or whatever the fuck, and she's the son of, or the daughter of Triton or whatever. What's Triton?
Yeah, the gods.
Yeah, I don't even know his name. Trident?
Well, Trident is his thing, but I think, like, I know it's that.
Trident, like Triton.
I believe so.
Okay. And he's white, like, and the UV rays don't penetrate the depths of the ocean, so how could she not be white?
I don't even know what to say.
I was like, no. I was like, this can't be real. And I saw some people from my hometown that I never thought cared this much about petty shit like this, commenting on, like, news outlets and being like, I can't believe this, blah, 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 as if somebody was gonna listen, as if Disney was gonna be like, oh, this guy from Bumblefuck Venezuela is commenting on this picture, we're changing the lead in this movie. It was so weird. Yeah. And, like, I saw people, I told you, like, I saw people, like, commenting, like, oh, it's like if Mulan was played by a blonde, or Pocahontas was played by an Asian, like, what? I was like, bro, those movies, the whole story is based on their cultures and their ethnicities. Ariel is a mermaid, and they are not real.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Like, it's not a real character. And she can be whatever the fuck people want her to be. And if we need more representation of Latinas or Black women or whatever, we're going to have it because we deserve it. And there aren't that many out there. Yeah. So
Tiana, and if you hear a pause, it's because I can't think of another.
And people were saying, like, oh, if they casted Tiana as, like, if they casted a white girl for Tiana, people would be mad.
Princess and the Frog has iconically been a white person from, like, the beginning of all time, until Disney decided to, like, assign her this cultural background in New Orleans. I don't even know.
I mean, we don't have that many words about this because we just can't believe it's a controversy.
Yes. I mean, I think my biggest issue, and what I've been saying to people throughout the week, was that I don't even believe Disney intended to cast a Black girl. I think they did an open audition and they tried to find someone that fit the qualities of the character, and she won it fair and square. This girl is talented. I mean, I don't know if you've heard her sing. What I understand is that a lot of people don't know who she is.
Yeah.
And like she's a part of, like, her and her sister are a part of a singing group.
Is her sister?
Like, yeah, she has a sister. And
Chloe's her sister?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I
it's
didn't
Chloe
know
and
that.
Halle. And they're, like, for those of you who don't know, they're Beyonce's protege. They started on YouTube and Beyonce saw their video and it was gorgeous, and I think she signed them. And from there they had, like, you know, fame, and like they're on this show called Grownish, which is a spin-off from Blackish. But yeah, I think there's like a disconnect because people don't know her. But if you do know her, her voice is like angels. It's
like Ariel.
It is. Like, my thing is that she's talented and she won her role fair and square. This wasn't even a plea for diversity. This girl came into the audition, she killed it, and she got it. Like,
as it should be all the time.
Exactly. Like, sometimes on roles, what I understand is that, like, if they're looking for something specific, blonde hair, blue eyes, they put out in their casting, we're looking for X, blonde hair, blue eyes. Come to the casting if you are this. And from that group, they then decide who wins the role. Disney did an open casting. So they weren't like, red hair only, anything else need not apply.
Because when you think about it, anybody can have red hair. And to me, that is the most iconic thing about Ariel. And anybody can have red hair.
Exactly.
And she's probably going to have red hair in the movie.
Most likely. But, like, I mean, anybody. Like you said, Scarlett Johansson does not have naturally red hair. But for Black Widow, she dyed it. Like, this is not, you know, rocket science. It's fine.
Yeah. And it's fake, guys. Like,
I mean,
it's a fictional, like...
But that's the thing, and people, what I'm understanding is that people don't even want to know the history or the truth. They want to be ignorant. Because if anyone knows, the original story was written in like 60 something, by the Christensen guy. The way he depicted Ariel, she had green skin, she like had to like cut off her own... She had to cut off some body part or whatever. Like, it was a lot. It was
her like tail?
Yeah, it was a gorier story.
All Disney stories started off like gory, like different.
Grimm stories, like they are gory, and Disney tries to make it more palatable for a wider audience. So unless you want your green Ariel, like I don't understand, like,
daughter of Shrek.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I just don't think this like, I'm sad. Like, I think that's what I feel now. At first, I was, like, really, like, surprised, upset, and now I'm just, like, sad. Because, first of all, Disney said it was a reimagining. Like, it's not going to be exactly
like all live action, like, movies, like Disney movies that they're coming out with now. They're all, like, reimaginings.
Exactly. And, I mean, as a Black woman, like, I'm not even, like... The diversity thing, like, yes, it's important, but I wasn't even thinking about that. But if we were to get into that conversation, Disney had Disney's first Black princess, and she's not even a princess. Princess and the Frog, she's a princess by marriage. She's not a princess in her own right. But It took 70 years for Disney to even make a movie about a Black princess. And from there, I mean, there's Pocahontas, but like she's Native American. And the comparisons that people are making about Mulan and Pocahontas and Brave, Merida.
What are they saying? What is Merida?
Merida's from Brave, and she's Scottish, you know? And like that story is rooted in Scottish traditions and culture. So most obviously, you can't swap that out for something. You know, like people are like, oh, well, they can't just switch out Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid, her hair, where there's no culture. She's a mermaid.
There's no person that has fins or a tail.
Exactly.
Like, or lives under the sea. Like SpongeBob, who's very real.
Like the only stories that are owed like historical like accuracy is Mulan. Excuse me. Is Mulan and Pocahontas. And I mean,
well, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, that has some truth to it.
But like, no, it's a freaking mermaid, and it's not real. And these movies are made for the people of today. A lot of them are black, a lot of them are Latino, a lot of them are not white, and we need more representation, and that's what these movies are for. They're modernizing the stories, and if casting is a part of that, then great, so be it, no?
I mean, absolutely, but I mean, first and foremost, she earned her role. She's freaking talented.
Exactly.
And you know what? Let's end on this note, because this is what I think is bonkers to me. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with in terms of politics or like pop culture, and I've never felt compelled to write a nasty comment anywhere because nobody cares and it does not change the situation.
And you're normal.
Exactly. But the things that I don't like or I don't support, I simply don't support with my money. There was a controversy with, Papa John's. There's controversies with a lot of companies that do the NFL. I just don't put my money there. If you don't want to watch The Little Mermaid, you don't like what they're doing with it, do not watch it. Do not support it. But this girl is 19, 20 years old. She's very young. The people who are writing these nasty things are grown-ass people. Why are you doing this to a child?
And they are affecting her self-esteem, and even one comment doesn't, but thousands of comments do affect her self-esteem and her self-worth, and maybe, imagine if she backed out of the movie because so many people don't want her to be the Little Mermaid. No, why would you ruin someone's life and childhood? She's a child.
Yeah.
She's a teenager.
Yeah,
she's 19.
Why would you do this? I can't wrap my head around
unnecessary.
All I ask or all I plead with the people who find this to be, they don't like it, just keep it to yourself. Don't support it, whatever. But don't do this to somebody. Celebrities, they're people too. These are just basic human thoughts. Don't
common sense.
Don't do that. It's not right. You wouldn't like it. Don't do that to others. Period.
Okay. So now that we have vented about that we've been wanting to talk about on the podcast for days.
Yes.
We're going to talk about something else that we're very passionate about. Money. Both.
Yes.
I mean, I am a Capricorn, so of course I'm passionate about money.
Yes.
But equal pay is something we're both very passionate about and talk about a lot. So this weekend, the U.S. women's national team won the World Cup.
Woo.
For the fourth time? Second in a row.
Yes.
Which is I think I read that it was the first time a team has won 2 times in a row.
Really?
I think so.
Cool.
I read something like that. Or I think it's, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was something like that. But, I found out that the women's World Cup has only been going on for 20 years.
Wow.
No, 30 years.
Okay.
The men's soccer cup, World Soccer Cup, has been going on for 80 years. From 1930 something to now. So maybe more than 80.
Yeah.
I'm bad with math, guys. But that's insane to me. The female World Cup started in 1991 or something like that.
That is really not that far. That's
the other
day.
Yeah. That's crazy. But anyway, as you might imagine, just like in anything else, they get paid a lot less than men. The same team. And the women's have won so many times, and they are an actually amazing team.
And successful.
Exactly. They just won. The men lost.
As per usual.
Yeah. The male soccer team used to play the continent matches, and they were in the same association as South America. I guess they were all in one, but now they are not. I think.
Okay.
But I saw a video of Megan Rapinoe. She's I think the biggest star.
Yeah, she's a spearhead of the team.
And she was saying how after they won, she gave a press conference. She was saying how she couldn't believe that the CONCACAF and the CONMEBOL, which are the two soccer federations for Central North America and South America, scheduled their final games for the same day that the Women's World Cup. That is insane. And she was
ridiculous.
I heard that it was that they didn't know that it was the female soccer final match, but it's so bad they didn't even know. It's the
That's
World
insane.
Cup. It's like,
I don't believe that.
she said, you stop everything for the World Cup.
Exactly.
How did they not know that the final match?
They knew.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And they just didn't care.
They didn't want to move it. They didn't think it was going to garner enough viewers, so they kept their date.
And honestly, it sucks, but like, most people that I know watched the Conmebol. I guess it's because we're South American, but they watched like the Brazil game,
Okay.
and they didn't watch the females World Cup final.
I mean, I'm not like a sports fan. I mean, I watched this because I know that a lot was writing on it. Like I know the politics angle about this.
Yeah.
Like I understood that like Megan, like she said before like the team won that she's not going to the friggin' White House, and Trump was pretty much like, you know, don't say that before you've won, and then she won. So like I know that part about it, and I wanted to watch to like see her win, you know. But I can't say I know too much about soccer, but I damn well know about getting paid what you need, what you earn. That's crazy to me. I mean,
So what are the difference in like pay?
the discrepancies are insane. So what I understand is that women get paid $90,000 annually compared to men who get $263,000 annually. And I think it's also important to say that these women are winning, whereas men, their season ends earlier because they didn't advance to like the next round.
They got to the finals in this like cup, but it's because, no offense, the teams just were not good at all. Like for Central and South and North America, it's like Mexico and the US who are the best, but they're not even that good. Like the US in the World Cup never makes it very far because they're just not good. The best teams in the whole continent are in South America, and they got to the final. They didn't win the cup, as expected. Mexico won, but they're just not very good. And the women's soccer team is amazing. Like they're super, super badass and talented. And they just,
I mean, there's like a lot of like aspects to this that I think is like important to touch upon. I think that a lot of people kind of don't care because like most Americans don't make $90,000. So to most people, it's kind of like, well, you're getting paid. So, you know, whatever. But you have to consider the wear and tear on your body. They cannot be pro athletes forever. They have a window. You know, like to your 20s, I understand some people maybe work till like their very early 40s, but that is the lifespan of your career and you need to make all your money in that time. The wear and tear on their bodies also affects them like fertility wise, like if they want to have kids and all this stuff, and men can pop out kids
when the fuck ever.
And they're making so much more money, and they're like, I don't want to disparage the men's team because I feel like as an athlete, they all work hard. It's not a matter of like one team not working as hard as the other. It's
but some teams do work less hard than others. I'm not saying that they do, but like in general, like I watch soccer and like there's teams that like are not good and there's teams that are freaking amazing. Yeah. And you have to recognize that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to disparage them because like I don't think that's necessary. I just think that they're both working hard. Maybe not equal, but they're working hard. And they should be paid the same thing. I know that like people are saying like, well, the male soccer team garners more attention, like more ad dollars. And because of that, you know, they can fill more seats. So that's why they have more money to pay their players. And to that, I say, so.
I think it's a change that needs to come from like within society.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a good job at like sparking the conversation about equal pay and like specifically in this area, and like they've been super outspoken about like, you know, this and like what they how they feel and all that. And they're just like awesome all around. So I support them even though I'm not American.
No, yeah, I mean, they've done a really good job. Like these women are like athletes through and through. There needs to be another system a system in place that, I don't know, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, I don't know, but I'm assuming if it were me, I would just put all the money from all the ad dollars and how much ever people are buying their tickets, whatever, put it in one pot and distribute it based on whoever advances. Like, put the male and the female together, and you give money, you pay them based on how well they do. Now, I don't know if that's gonna work, but there you go.
We also found in our research that there's like a bonus that they get after they're done with their season or whatever, and the men got, like, was it like 50,000 and the women each?
Yeah, something like that.
And the women got like 30,000 each or whatever, and Luna Bar, I keep saying things with like a super heavy like Spanish accent. Luna Bar, the brand, they're like protein bars or like
granola bars.
Granola bars. They donated hundreds of thousands of dollars.
A little over $700,000
to equal that
signing
amount.
bonus.
Yeah. That's
amazing.
First of all, amazing. And like, I'm gonna start supporting Luna Bar now.
100%. This piggybacks on what we were saying like last week.
Yeah.
I love companies that not only like support, like outwardly support, but also like, you know, they decide to put money into the things that they think matters. And
they didn't make a big deal out of it either, because we saw this like in the news and like a random article, but from a reputable source, of course. Yeah. But we didn't see it from them. They didn't do like sponsored ads being like, hey, we donated this much, like almost $1 million to a cause that they believed was worth it.
Yeah.
And that was worth it.
Absolutely. I'm just stunned. Like, brands don't have to do that. But the fact that they did, I think, needs to be like broadcasted. I think that's great. They're great.
Yes. Go Luna Bar.
Yes. We'll try it and let you know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll try them and let you know next week what we think. But they're already good. So even if we don't like the taste,
we'll buy them.
Yeah, we'll just buy them.
Just buy them, stockpile. Yes. So that takes us into our segments. So if you've been watching... So if you've been watching, last week we introduced the idea that we're going to be starting segments. We've decided on Asia's ad break, and for Carla...
For hers. Carla's Cosmo Corner. I'm going to have a lot of trouble saying that every episode, so bear with me.
I love tongue twisters.
Yeah, it's a serious tongue twister.
Yes.
So first we're going to do Asia's, and we're going to have a little logo for you guys if you're watching on YouTube, and we're super excited. These are things that we're like super passionate about, and don't think I'm dumb for being passionate about astrology. I'm passionate about getting to know myself and helping you guys get to know yourself.
Exactly. Astrology in a lot of ways is psychology. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's really just a study on people.
And, you know, I was thinking, just super side note, if your astrology profile says that you should be this way, and you're not that way, and you're like, no, you know, it says I'm independent, and I'm not. I'm dependent on, like, my parents or my partner or whatever, then it's still helping you get to know yourself.
Sure.
So, shut the fuck up. Okay. Just kidding, don't.
I didn't expect that. That's funny.
But yeah, the whole point of astrology is for you to get to know yourself even better, and if I can help you a little bit with that, then great.
A success.
If not, turn it off. But yeah, we're gonna start with Asia's. We're gonna start with Asia's segment.
Yes. So this week I'm going to talk about Xfinity Home. It's a commercial that, if you have Comcast, you've been seeing it like so many times, but it's a really cute commercial. I think most often people notice commercials from like big brands, you know, the Apples of the world, and that's cool or whatever, but I think in the ad business, more often than not, you're going to be working on something that's a little bit more, not as sparkly, like, not as, you know.
You're going to be selling toothpaste and pennies.
And sometimes that's not inspiring, but when you can take something that's a little bit mundane and make it into a cute commercial.
And a meaningful story, period.
Exactly. It's effective.
Exactly.
While still being entertaining. I think that those are the true advertisers, like really showing their talent. In this commercial, so it's pretty much Xfinity Home. So if you have like that add-on, like for Comcast, there's like a little voice box that you can put outside that also acts as like a camera and a speaker. So you would use that with your remote. This sounds like an ad for Comcast. Sponsor us.
Please.
So pretty much you was talking to your Comcast remote and just be like, hey Comcast, like who's at the door? Or like, unlock my door, or,
You say Comcast or you say Xfinity?
Or yeah, Xfinity, hey. I think either or works. I actually say it too.
Weird.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
I have like the voice remote. So like,
Ooh.
I say like, like, oh, MTV Awards, or oh, Kardashians. Oh, Christine knows best. So like, yeah, you'd say like, hey Xfinity, like unlock my doors, or hey, like let me see the camera.
Unlock my doors?
Yes.
That seems like something from the future. We don't have that here in my house.
I mean, you'd have to have the whole setup, but I don't know if it's really worth it. I don't know of any time I'm gonna be like,
oh, you don't have the
I don't have the unlock my doors.
Oh.
But I have the voice remote.
How do you do it? Like, how do you install something in the locks that like turns it?
Exactly. So it's kind of like, I guess like maybe like a Google Home meets the Ring doorbell.
Uh-huh.
So like something that's like connected to your whole house that controls the lights and everything. Anyways, in this commercial, it's so cute.
I got us like super sidetracked.
No, sorry. It's super cute. It's like this little girl who's painting her dad's nails and doing his makeup, and his nails are drying, and someone knocks at the door. And she's like, she gives her dad the remote, and he's like, Xfinity, who's at the door? And then he sees that it's like the neighbor, and then he's like, unlock, and then the neighbor comes in, and obviously she's like, what the hell's going on here?
He's like,
the dad has like wet nails, and he has like makeup and like a boa, and and she's like, welcome to the neighborhood, and she has like a pie, and the little girl is just like showing off her dad, like, do you like my work? And I mean, it's supposed to advertise like the hands-free option or whatever, and I just thought it was really charming. I thought it was cute and a really nice way to advertise the features while still telling a story that's somewhat realistic and
relatable.
It is like, and I think that like the reflex to like advertise something like that, and I've seen often, is like maybe you're in the kitchen and your hands are like messy and you want to like hit with your elbow, like, oh, who's at the door? I think I've seen those commercials play out often, but this like twist on it, I thought it was inspired. It was cute. It was sweet. There's like a couple other iterations that I've seen, and yeah, check it out. Really cute. Xfinity Home commercial. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. So this transitions over into Carla's Cosmic Corner. Take it away.
Is it Cosmic Corner or Cosmo Corner?
I think Cosmic makes sense.
Carla's Cosmic Corner. Yeah.
Or Cosmo Cosmic Corner. I mean, either or.
Cosmic. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. Teach us. Oh, sensei.
Okay, so I asked you to look up your birth charts, right? I hope you did. If you didn't, go do it right now. Look up birth chart, astrology, and do it, and then come back.
Type in your birthday.
Yes, you need your birthday, your day, like the date that you were born, the time that you were born, and the place that you were born. Hopefully you know the place that you were born.
Or call your mom.
I saw a tweet, or a friend tagged me on a meme on Instagram that said, like, it's so millennial to ask your mom what time you were born to do your birth chart. And it is, because it's super important.
Yes.
So, the birth chart, the most important 3 things on there, less complicated than everything else, are your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascendant sign. Your sun sign basically tells you the way that the most high level ways that you live your life, like whether you're introspective or whether you are high strung or easygoing, or if you make friends easily, or if you're more reserved. It tells you the essence of who you are, basically. But to get a whole picture of your personality and who you are, you need to find your moon sign and your ascendant sign too. Ascendant or rising sign, I use those interchangeably. So then your moon sign is the position that the moon was in. Well, the sun sign is the position that the sun was in at the time you were born. And this is the one that, as I said last episode, the one that most people know. Because you can easily find it on like dates. Like when you just search like dates, you can tell which sun sign you are. But moon sign is more specific to the position of the moon, the position that the moon was in at the moment, exact moment that you were born.
Mini burped. I'm sorry.
So while the sun is the part of you that most people see, the moon is the part of you, or the moon represents the part of you that is more like introspective, the part that is like more secretive about you. The moon is the more like reclusive part of you, the part that you kind of keep hidden. It has to do a lot with like your instinctive behavior, and a lot of the times instinctive behavior is taboo because it's not refined and it's not, well thought out. It's just like how you react. So your moon sign can sometimes be like the darker or more, I guess, not correct parts of your personality.
Yeah.
For example, in my case, I have a Capricorn sun, and it's like a super ambitious sign and a super like hardworking and focused and cold sign. But my moon sign is Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And Scorpio is just like
in your
the
face.
sign of the extremes. We are passionate and we're jealous and we are impulsive and we are overbearing and super, super freaking intense. And that is honestly like the parts of myself that I find like wanting to control or wanting to tame, I guess is the right word. But the moon is also the side of you that like reacts to like emotional stimuli and the part of you that reacts to pleasure. But of course, even with like your sun sign and your moon sign, the things that you live throughout your life, like tragedies and loss and things like that, are going to influence you. And that's why like no sign is written in stone.
Yep.
Because there's always like variance in your daily life and all of that.
Upbringing
and your upbringing and your culture, and a lot of that like overrides your personality traits that you could have because of your sign. Mm-hmm. But I think astrology is like the essence of who you are. Like it's always going to be there, no matter like a little part of it is like the way that you were meant to be, kind of. Even like if you're born into whatever culture. Mm-hmm. And finally, your ascendant sign is the sign that basically is your image. So the first thing that people see about you is most likely your ascendant sign. It represents your outer personality, and it's basically the first impression you make on other people. So a lot of people compare the rising sign to like the door of a house, and then that's the first thing you see and the first thing that you walk through, and then when you get to know the person and you enter the house, you get to see the rest, which is their sun sign and their moon sign. So your ascendant sign also characterizes the way that you deal with people and that you cope with situations in your daily life. So basically how you react to anything new that life throws at you. So this is just like a very basic overview of the 3 most important things on your birth chart. In my opinion, I mean, they are. Yes. Not in my opinion, just like in everybody's opinion. And these are like the 3 pillars on which you build your personality. And it's interesting because depending on your moon sign or in your sun sign, your moon sign or sun sign will see themselves affected. Like if you have a very passive sun sign, you have a very intense moon sign. For example, like Libra is kind of a mellow, like neutral sun sign. These are people that like, I mean, they're like non-conflictive and like avoid confrontation. But if you have like a Scorpio moon sign, then being a Libra might not be very you.
Okay.
Because a very powerful moon sign might override your sun sign in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So it's super interesting to see, like, if you don't identify with your sun sign at all, or mostly,
perhaps your moon
sign, yeah, exactly. Depends on, like, but there are certain things about each sign that will not be erased no matter what your moon sign is, what your ascendant sign is. Like, there's very specific characteristics about signs that you're always going to have, or that are always going to be like part of your essence.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even like no matter what other sign you have. But yeah, I guess I'm going to leave it at that for today.
Yes. I think that's good because like when Carla told me to look at my root chart, it was just a mess. I was just like stuff. So I think it's very important to first understand what you're looking at, and then we can probably get into more specific information on the next.
Yes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the whole zodiac list. Zodiac
signs.
Through all the signs, starting with Aries, which is the first sign, and dissect each sign a little bit. Talk about each sign. Like next episode, for example, I would talk about each, like, Aries, which is the first sign, or we can do that.
One order.
So it's gonna be a long ride with like 12 episodes spread out.
Yes.
But I guess you're gonna have to wait for your sign if you're not Aries.
I'm Taurus, so I think I'm third.
Yeah.
Yay.
Aries. No, you're second.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. But yeah, it would be interesting also to like highlight one celebrity that's like very Aries.
Ooh.
For example.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's born on my birthday, so he's also a Taurus. Princess Charlotte. I don't know how I feel about that.
She's cute.
She's a child, but I like so many people are born on my birthday. I just over it. But yes, we should do celebrities.
Yeah, or just like a list of celebrities that are that sun sign.
Yes.
And then, yeah, but if you have any suggestions, feel free to email us at
kindaculturedpodcast4@gmail.com.
Yes. So as in the number 4.
Yes. 4.
We still haven't changed it. I think it's just gonna stay like that forever.
Sorry, guys.
But yeah,
yes.
Well, this was just like a little intro into the astrology world. We hope you like it.
Yes.
And yeah.
So, what'd you get kind of cultured on?
I got kind of cultured on the stupidity of people. Pettiness. I don't know what the right word is. But making problems where there are none.
Yeah.
Ness of people.
That's so true.
About Hallie. I seriously still can't believe that is a problem. Like, when I told you, I was like, Aisha, have you heard about the controversy? And she's like, what controversy?
What controversy?
I'm like, well, Hallie and the Little Mermaid. She's like, that's not a controversy. It's just like a fact. And I was like, nope, it's not. It's a problem, apparently.
Guys, if you want to focus your attention, let me tell you some issues. There are concentration camps going on right now. Climate change. Eventually, we're all going to be freaking under the sea.
Underwater. Yeah.
So
we can all be the Little Mermaid.
Look at that.
2030. Here we come.
There are other things you guys can concentrate on. I swear, they're just as interesting.
I got kind of cultured on the lack of equal pay in the national soccer teams in the United States.
Yes.
I love that, like, women are finding our own voices.
But I also think it's like, I mean, I hate to rehash this again, but I think it's also a little like scary because what I understand, if you like study history, there's always like little pockets in history where like women had like a mini uprising revolution. Like it happened like in the 20s and it happened before then. And it's like, we continue to see like these waves of periods where women are in power and they're empowered and all these things. And it almost seems like nothing becomes of it. Like we get super, super excited, super, super pumped. And then Nothing. So I think it's also important to like keep the momentum, continue to like, write your legislators about like equal pay and women issues that matter.
Do you think that changes anything?
What do you mean?
Writing legislators?
I honestly believe that you got to do something. I think if enough people call their phone, write emails, and bother them, they're going to realize, like, in terms of, like, re-election, their constituents aren't happy.
I have something to add to that.
Yes.
A little bit unrelated, but sort of related. The agency that I worked for did a project on gun violence for Cannes, the international festival in France about advertising, and creativity. And they worked with the parents of Joaquin Oliver, who was me with the Spanish accent again, who was one of the kids that was killed in the Parkland shooting. And long story short, they made a 3D printed version of Joaquin, a guac, as they called him. And the same day that it was allowed or legal for people to 3D print their own guns, they printed a guac and they took him out and they took him to like different places. In the documentary that the agency made, the mom read a letter that Joaquin wrote to like legislators in his county or whatever about gun violence. He died 6 years and 2 days later from gun violence. Basically, the letter said like, how can we not have background checks for people that purchase guns? If you have nothing to fear, if you're innocent, then you shouldn't care about background checks.
Exactly.
So we should please implement background checks. Like, how could you not care? Signed, Joaquin. And 6 years and 2 days later, he died from gun violence. Something he was an actual activist for. So, and that's why I'm asking you, like, if you think it changes anything, because he wrote a letter. I mean, he was just one person, but still, like, it has to be, like, a group effort.
I mean, 100% it's a group effort. Something similar, but, like, not related. I think most people know that, like, Meghan Markle, like, when she was a child, she wrote a letter to, I mean, it's not a legislator, but she wrote a letter to, like, the company that does, like, soap. And she said, like, how come women are the only people featured washing dishes? Why can't men do it? And
she did?
Yeah,
that's
a
amazing.
Little girl. And the company changed it. They changed their whole campaign to incorporate men now washing dishes and doing some of the chores that seem for women. And this was one little girl in who knows where. And I don't subscribe to the idea of not doing anything. And I don't subscribe to the idea of like, well, it'll work itself out, or, eventually, I think that you have to be an active participant in everything that you do if you genuinely want change. Certainly it's not going to come overnight, and God bless this guy, like this little boy that just wanted like people to be safe, and it didn't work out for him. Like, that's incredibly sad. And I think that, maybe it was just like one person, but I think if we all keep the same energy and join together, join a group, join some sort of activist movement, I think it can make a difference. Like, genuinely and truly, not right away, but for sure. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's crazy.
And on that inspirational note,
yes,
we're gonna
wrap it up.
Thank you guys for listening to us vent and ramble. And hopefully you're a little more cultured. We are. And yeah, thank you for listening.
Yes.
Like, subscribe,
all that jazz.
Follow us on Twitter at Kinda Cultured. Yeah, all the things we say every week. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.